All right. I think we are recording. Yes, I see the red ball blinking. All right. So we are super excited, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in this, I think this is our third Diamond Push Group Zoom. So here we go. I think everybody knows us, John and Liz. We're triple and double diamonds, and we're ready to get started here. And so there's a few things I want to talk to you about, and then we'll definitely open it up for any questions that you guys might have. Kiddos, please go do your work. It's time to go, guys. We homeschool, so you know how that is. So the first thing that you guys all need to make sure that you're doing this month is making sure that your auto ship running, your ADBV auto ship running. And every single person that's on your team, you need to go in your tree viewer and look at all of them next to your name where it opens up like a little sideways triangle. Make sure that everybody has their ADBV auto shipment running and that it says that their commission, that they don't have a commission hold. Because a lot of times when new distributors come on, they don't go and do their tax information, and if you don't fill it out really quickly, then all of a sudden it's still red and it's a commission hold, and that could affect you. So just make sure that you're always watching for those things as your team keeps growing and building. So I just have something to say something?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to add something to that. That's why it's so important when you enroll a new distributor, within the first 24 hours, you're either meeting with them in person or over the phone, logging into the eSuite and talking them through some back office training. And if you're not sure what that looks like, we do have a recording in Divine Alliance files for new distributors. And we went through exactly what you train on that first call, because that's the first thing. And you will not get your fast start bonus if it's commission hold on it. And that just means they didn't ever log into their back office. Crazy, right?
That's leaving money on the table.
Right.
Yep.
Second thing I have for checklist things as you guys are writing things down is making sure that, the commission qualified thing, but then also the fast starts that are happening. So just make sure that, as people come in, you're letting your distributor know, don't forget now, this person came in. You're just always training down, bringing in your first 2 loyal customers and making sure that you have your ADBV auto shipment running or 150 in sales. I really, really, really preach ADBV over the 150. Unless the person starts making a stink, then I'll maybe mention that. But otherwise, I feel it's a really great, safe, and like we like to call it, the law here, because it really is important that they have the ADBV, and that, it just helps with everything. You're becoming a product of your product, but it also helps with your volumes and all of that. So that's definitely a big thing that you need to be watching as those fast starts come in when everybody comes through. Don't assume that your distributors or a distributor that brought on a distributor knows those things. You just always, just like Kim and all of us are telling you, you do the same thing. You duplicate the same thing over and over and over again so you don't miss anything in there. John, maybe you want to talk about the partying weekly with people?
All right, so partying weekly, like what we've done down here and what we did back in Minnesota to get to Triple Diamond was literally put on the boards for us. I believe it was Tuesday or Thursday at the time up there, and down here we did Wrapping Wednesdays or Wellness Wednesdays. We did
Transformation Tuesday.
Now we kind of switched to Transformation Tuesdays, and then also we jumped to Saturday in there just because there was some people that couldn't make the weekday thing work. Ultimately, what it comes down to is you need to put something on your map, on your roadmap, so that there is something going on all the time. It does a couple of things. When you're talking to people in person or in your geographic location, it gives them you something to point to, and it gives them something to come to. So you can immediately say, hey, I've got Transformation Tuesdays going on. They're at 6 o'clock. Everybody comes over. They're an hour long, 45 minutes, whatever you want to say. And boom, it's just something that naturally comes out of your mouth. Otherwise, if you don't have a date set up, you're like, oh, well, let me see. When can I check my calendar? And the person's like, oh, well, you don't seem professional. And you don't have the urgency to get them there that week. So that's, I would say, the science behind that.
And then don't forget that always remember that some people don't want to come to a party setting though too. You know what I mean? Like, always remember and just say, you know what, we do one-on-ones too. Like, if you're more comfortable with that, because you'd be surprised at how many people don't come to those events, and then you just go back and say, would you prefer a one-on-one? And all of a sudden they're like, yes. So don't forget that some people don't want everybody knowing their business. Like, people don't want to be there to see who's there, and then I'm on it work stuff and blah, 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 you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, health and wellness is personal for a lot of people.
I think also people imagine crazy things when they hear about a wrap party, and so I make sure to say, you'll be wrapped in a private room, either a bathroom or a bedroom. You can come and just observe. You don't have to wrap, but you get to see, people who wrap their results. And then again, just say if you can't get them when you do it, just say, would it be better if we just schedule for me to come to you or you to come to me? And that's actually where I'm at right now with somebody while we're on the Zoom, trying to figure out when I can either come to her or she can come to me. So don't assume that they're not coming because they don't want to. There's a lot of fears. People have crazy thoughts in their head. I literally sent pictures to somebody today of one of my girls last night with lifting up her shirt with the wrap on to show them what it looks like. They're like, oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's all about putting your tie-dye colored shirt on and making sure that you're recognizing people's feelings kind of as they're speaking to you, kind of recognizing apprehensions, kind of just being able to read the playbook and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then I have written down your just dividing your time up, a great reminder again and again. Cami Dempsey always mentions, make sure that you're looking at dividing your time between a third, a third, a third. A third of working your personal business, a third of helping your team. If you guys are all business builders now, so you have a team to be working with. So you got your own business. You cannot forget about your personal business. I will tell you from past history, what really did slow us down was that we started helping everybody else and we forgot to do our own personal steps to success. So don't make that mistake of just using all your time to help your team and forgetting about completing your own. Mm-hmm. So as they're bringing in, you should be bringing in. As you're doing your parties together and they're partying together, you're bringing guests, they're bringing guests. You know what I mean? So just always remember that this business is a show me business, not a tell me. Like, you are showing them how it's done. There's so many times people say, how can I motivate my team? They're just not motivated. You can't motivate your team, but you can inspire them. And what does that mean? That means that you keep bringing in loyal customers and distributors and they just go, my goodness, she's not even talking about it, but look at what she's out there doing. I guess I better stop talking and just start doing. So that's a huge tip that I would say that we definitely slowed down our business by being way too management oriented.
I think I'm going to mention too, game plan.
Wait, let's do the third. Okay, so I didn't finish that.
But no, I'm in the third yet. Okay. I'm going to just graze this a little bit. So game plan within your third. And I heard this from so many leaders, some of the Zoom, or not Zooms, but YouTube videos that we've watched and stuff. And Cami says the same thing. As you are doing your third, on my phone right now, I have the verse about putting on the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, putting on your armor in the morning. Mm-hmm. This business will chew you up and spit you back out if you're not prepared. And I know Kim can say this, we can say this. And what I have to say is the third is so awesome, but have some strategy to it. Get up in the morning and do your personal development and your devotion first, because guess what? The stuff is going to come flying at you in the day. Most days are not unicorns and roses. It's just not the way it is. And if you don't put your game plan strategy in place for that third, you're going to wind up saying, well, I got out of bed, flying high, ready to talk to people. But the stuff came in sideways from what I expected. And then you're going to end the day with, which is good, you can end the day with some personal development or God's word time too. But if you don't start the day, you're not setting yourself up for a successful approach from a mindset. So I would really recommend make sure you look at that third and decide what is your game plan approach to that. That's my recommendation. Okay, awesome. I love that.
So yeah, like don't open your phone first thing and look at all the complaining messages from team or because it all comes in, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, you just started your day. Don't start that way. Start in God's word and get your mind filled where it needs to be. And then calmly, peacefully open up those messages and attack them one at a time. You know what I mean? That's a big part too. So a third is working your personal business. A third is helping your team. And a third is what are you doing to really build your mind and grow? That's your personal development. That's your devotion time. So if you find yourself doing too much of one, you'll find yourself out of balance that way. So just make sure that you're still doing those things. And we got GoPro going, and we got the Lion one coming. That's coming on May 8th. So we got a couple different things that corporately, well, through Kim and through corporate, we're going to be just filling our minds in the right places. So that's a good thing. Also, early charting. Does everybody have their chart set? Everybody have their chart? If you can, just kind of hold it up so we know that you are set to go. It's now May 4th. If you don't have that printed out then and filled in, make sure that you do that, because if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to keep circling the mountain. You're not going to know where you're going.
Another thing I'm going to throw on that is let people know where you're going. Don't keep it a secret. You know, when you get ready to go on a really cool family vacation, you're telling everybody. I mean, not usually Facebook world, because, you know, everybody's going to know you're gone from your house during that time, but you're getting excited about where you're going, and you're telling people that you're going to be going on this trip. And this is a big deal, what we're doing. And I heard this again from a lot of other leaders, that you need to let people know what your crazy adventure is going to be. Like when Liz started this business, she would tell people that she's going to retire me from my job, and people would laugh at her, but then they also knew where she was going, and she was saying it out loud where she was going. So it's very important to get real with yourself, speak those words out loud, lay out that geographical roadmap, and let people know where you're going.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, so you're not there quite yet, right? And so when I started, I was just a distributor. I was only making $50 a month or whatever at first, you know, but I still breathed life into whoever I chatted with to say, this is what this is going to do for me and my family. And people would just kind of look at me, like he said, giggle, maybe just stare at me with cross-eyed, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm really going to do it. Like, I'm really going to do it. And then they may have laughed, but they laughed to see it happen too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could say something as simple as, I'm going to be a work from home mom making a six-figure income from my cell phone. And let that stew in people's brain a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell people where you're going, and if they want to be a part of that, where you're going. You know what I mean?
And believe that you're going there. Don't just speak it. Believe it with every ounce of your being. I started imagining what you'll do with all that time and with that money, where you're going to invest it, what you're going to do for your family. Like they've even said, if you want a car, get in that car, smell the leather, go take it for a test drive, so you can keep revisiting that memory, keep that vision in your mind, because without vision, people perish. And so you got to be that visionary for yourself, and then you'll lead your team on to do the same thing.
Absolutely. I love that.
That's actually what Claire talked about on the call last night. If you guys listened to the call last night,
social media one.
She said about the difference between hoping and expectation.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was so good what she said. I mean, just there's such a difference. Like, I hope puts you in such a different, like, I hope it happens. But when you expect
escape route, when you say hope,
you know, when you expect that it's going to happen, you're working as if.
Yeah. So say I'm expecting to go ruby by the end of the month. I'm expecting to go emerald. I'm expecting to go diamond. You know, and it's a whole different thing, and your mindset starts actually finding ways to make that happen. It doesn't say, I hope. Hope sounds like, oh, maybe. No. I expect. Boom, boom. Now my mind and my body is going to create ways to make that happen. So I love that. And maybe you guys all don't know this, but you can place 5 orders, 5 different ways underneath people, underneath your organization, and it could be 1,000 BV. So with that said, as you get closer and closer and keep moving towards, you know, where you're going by month end, just know that you have 5 different ways. So hold those ways. Don't go doing it right now and say, I'm going to place an order and then go throw it underneath somebody else. Just keep watching as we get closer to the end of the month. Know that you have 5 orders that you can place 5 different places in your organization. And so if you have a personal order to make, don't make it right now. Like, don't make it right now. Put it up together in a list and have it set as you get closer to that month end. If there's just one little spot that just needs a little bit of volume or whatever that might look like, that makes sense. I mean, if you're thousands away, then you're probably not going to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to throw all these orders everywhere. And yet I'm not even going to be making a paycheck that's even going to cover what I just threw out there. So definitely don't do things that don't make sense. But just know that you have 5 orders that you can place 5 ways, and it's 1,000 BV. Were you say something, John?
I think Kim was
Kim, you gonna say something to that?
Yeah, I got a couple things to say. First of all, arm yourself with product you need for the month to pound the month. So that's where you put the orders on your auto ship, because your auto ship doesn't count towards the 5 extra orders. So you're gonna run your auto ship. You're gonna think, what do I need for a massive month ahead for my goals? How much wraps do I need? How many greens do I need? You guys get the idea. Make sure you're getting product for yourself. Like, what do I need to make? I'm having my shake now at like 2 in the afternoon because I haven't had lunch or I've been working. But like, you know, you get the idea. Run your auto ship. But then you have your 5 orders, you know, hold on to the end of the month, because you may get somebody who's just like 25 BV away from being a qualified leg and you need confianza. Well, it makes sense to place your $25 order, you know, and then after it goes in, you go back into your eSuite, you click orders, and then you find your recent orders, and right next to it on the right is like a little box. You hit the down arrow, it says move, and you just type in your distributor's number, you want to move it. It has to happen in 24 hours of placing the order, but like wait till the end of the month to just see when everybody's volumes come in. And again, don't be dumping hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you know what? We're in business to make money. It's only, again, like Liz says, if it makes sense, and we don't want to get in the habit of doing that, because guess what? Next month, unless the loyal customer's there to back up, you're going to be doing it again. So you want to encourage it. So just if you're falling short, especially as we get closer to the big bonuses, that's when it really makes a lot of sense.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, okay. So that's really what I had down for, you know, just some checklist things to think about. And I didn't have a chance to look, but I believe that you have to have your 4 active loyal customers in order to qualify for the diamond bonus. So make sure that you guys, you know, if you're placing loyals here and there or whatever, make sure that you still have your 4 active loyal customers. That is a must. And if you're smart, have more than 4, because in case someone stops or something, have several on that top line. But the point is to train the people. And if you notice that people aren't moving, they're not moving, then you really need to consider another distributor on that same line, if they're the second line or the third line, because I'm telling you, if you drag people along, you will continue to drag people along. So you really do want people that when you pass the ball, like Kim will say, they pass the ball right back. You say, hey, here, I got this going on. They say right back to you. If people just kind of like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Don't say, oh my goodness, you're not a whatever. They're not a part of what you're doing right now. And maybe along the way, they will wake up and decide that it's a better time in their life to get started with it. So, you know, those are just some things in the past that I'm like, well, we could have maybe not been so harsh on that, or made a person feel the pressure, you know what I mean, if they're just not wanting to go with it. And, you know, a really great way is to simply send them a message. Like John said, I'm going Ruby by the end of the month. I'm going Emerald by the end of the month. Are you coming along with me? Isn't that a great way to ask all your distributors, this is where I'm going by month end. Are you coming with me? And if there's hesitation, or they say, I don't know, I'm busy, that's fine, no problem. Just wanted to kind of see where you're at. You know where they're at, and you know who's going along with you. So let your team individually ask them that. Say, this is where I'm going. Would you like to come along with me? And then you know who you're working with.
So did you have anything else? Otherwise,
should we
talk a little bit about?
I'd love to add real quick to that. I also like to let them know, say you're going Ruby. Say, I'm going Ruby this month. I'm looking for somebody who wants to go executive. Let them say, pick me, I want to go executive. You know, if they just sit there like deer in the headlights, you know, they're happy with their 4 loyals, and you can't be expecting them to do anything more. You know, so I think that's a really good word choice. The other thing about the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I know when my chink got in my wheel, it was because I stopped working my steps to success, and I was busy helping other people work their steps to success, because I just felt like I want everybody to be where I am. But you know what? I needed to keep moving. Number one, it does motivate them when they see their leader out there doing it, because in their head, when they think nobody wants the strap, and nobody wants these products, and nobody wants to be a little customer, and nobody wants to be distributed, and they see somebody else doing it, they go, well, that negates that. Obviously, they do. Secondly, if you are a mass recruiter and you have somebody who's really working hard and plugging in, then you can bless them if it makes sense and put somebody in their business. If it's geographically right, if they're in the right positioning for your promotion, you know, because ultimately you're not working everybody else's business. You're working yours, and you're working on your own structure. So if you have somebody who's going to be your executive at Ruby placement, and you have somebody who's working really hard, but they're one distributor away, and you get one, well, guess what? You get to put them under their structure, help them go Ruby, and you still make money on them. You still keep the enrollership. So that's the other reason why step success is so important, because if you're not recruiting, you can't help your people, you know, and this is where we all work together.
Yeah, I love that.
All right,
You're going to
cool.
say something. Thank you, Kim, for that.
So I was going to mention just a little bit, you know, when Markin was down here for boot camp, he talked about, you know, working your thing, what you're good at, but he also talked about learning something new. And so, you know, of late, I guess for sure, Liz and I went through this probably about two years ago, where we really thought, you know, we should get into social media, Instagram, that type of thing. And at the time, the way people were doing it just really didn't seem to fit. You know, it was like and unfollow, or follow and unfollow, you know, 150 people a day. And just all this, you know, follow, hope that people see you. Well, we've been doing a lot of research and a lot of studying, and especially since Mark was here and said, you know, you should really keep doing what you're doing, which we're a belly-to-belly team here. We've been trained by a belly-to-belly mama, and, you know, Cammie is a belly-to-belly person as well. She's the first to admit she's not a social media girl. But as we've been listening, learning, training, we have a friend of ours who is Claire Flores. She was on the call just last night. Lives down here, was formerly from Minnesota as well. We've been listening to a lot of her stuff, and so now the approach to Instagram has changed a lot since 2 years ago when we first started. First of all, I'll just say this. Liz had an Instagram account. I have an Instagram account. She's more into Facebook and doing that, even though there's some things inside of Facebook that she needs to change the approach or tighten it up, I guess, a little bit would maybe be the word for it. What we're doing now is I've actually linked our 2 accounts in Instagram. Okay, so basically it's like this. When I open up Instagram, there's a little button in there, and I can switch between her account and my account without logging in and logging out. That's super cool. Saves a lot of time. Plus, when I get a message back from either her account or my account, I get a message on my phone, no matter who I'm signed in as. So now I'm in Instagram and I'm posting from my perspective, but I'm also posting from her perspective. I'm answering questions from her perspective, basically as her, and I'm answering questions from my perspective as me. So I'm covering 2 different bases at the same time. I'm just telling you this is out there. If you're just doing your own Instagram account, that's fine. But I'm just saying it is out there. The other thing that I wanted to mention or reiterate what Claire said the other night was that you don't have to go on Instagram and like and follow 150 people a day. She says go find like 20 people in a week. Okay, do some scouting. Look for some people that maybe have like values. But
just a quick question or quick thing. You can do this with Facebook as well. You know how we're like talking to like a million people and we really don't have very good, thoughtful conversations, truly, because we're just trying to chat with everybody. I love how she said choose 20 for the week, for the entire week. Write them down. Whoever that person is that you've been wanting on your team, who has those great qualities that the May Go plan has on it. It says list your qualities for your ideal distributors. So write those things down and choose 20. Write their names down and actually have likes and thoughtful comments and great, like you're their best friend for a full 7 days. And then on the 7th day, she says, then she goes in for the private message to them. You know, it has been such an awesome week, total complimentary, whatever. It's been so fun to watch you. And then have you ever heard of It Works? You know what I mean? Or have you ever thought of? So, and then that's how she closes people, just by doing the 20.
And then in Facebook too, you need to put those people into lists. And then when you post and it says, do you want this to be public, private, or an XYZ list? Then your post will get put into their feed. You see, it'll skip the algorithm and it'll go right into their feed. Right now, we're working against all these things where algorithm has such a big influence. Same thing as we jump over to Instagram, but I guess Instagram and Facebook. In order to be getting yourself out there and working the best with the algorithms, you have to do live videos, okay? You have to post videos from, like there's another, on Instagram, you can take not a live video, but you can take a video and then post it right to the social media venue. So it's not something that you're doing outside of, but you're using that venue to get your video and then put it on. Or you're doing a live video. You're using posts. What was the other thing in Instagram? I'm forgetting right at the moment. There was 4 things, but I'm learning that you have to do all 4 of those things in order to bump yourself up in the algorithm. So you might be making really good posts on Instagram, but if you're not doing live videos, they're going to look at you and say you're not playing along with what we want you to do. So in order to get more likes, more follows, more people paying attention, you need to do all of those things.
Yeah, so get back to, Mark said, keep doing what you're doing that you're really great at. but do not learn another thing.
Mhm.
He does say learn something new. So Claire Flores is on to something, because the way they were teaching way back with the follow, unfollow, all that crazy jazz, we were all like, what the heck, spammy, terrible.
Mhm.
But the way that she is doing it, following 20, you can do that both on Facebook and Instagram. So watch those. John will post them in this link. I think I don't know if you did in the Diamond Push or not, but we'll
I
put them
will.
both there.
I'll put the videos in there, the two that I found that were really cool.
Yeah,
There
so
was-
learn something on the side while you're doing what you're doing.
There was a girl, Autumn. She signed 73 loyal customers in 1 month and 14 distributors. And she was just telling how she was doing it. It was all on Instagram. Confidence had a lot to do with it. But like I said, she was just going double diamond that month. So it's not like the confidence of that she was a ambassador or something like
right?
that. She was just, she talks in that video very candidly about the aha moments that she had to get there. So I would greatly recommend that.
Yeah, and I do believe, it's so important to stay in our lane, but it also is always good to be raising your lid and adding another tool to your tool belt. There's so much out there, but don't get so OCD about one way.
Right.
Because I know people that get all into this social media thing, they totally forget to connect with people and get raps on. The raps are the number one way to get people to fall in love with this business and fall in love with the possibilities. So Instagram is great, and I love how you're saying that Claire is building relationship on social media, because that's the missing piece if you're just going so fast. You're not really building relationships. So I like her way. And what was the other thing that came to my mind real quick with regards to that? I guess just really, try and be very well-rounded. We try to be all the color personalities. We try to be a little green. We try to be a little blue to have a little bit more fun. We need to try and be a little bit yellow to be, understanding and have grace with people. And we need to have some red, so we're driven and we're hungry, so we're working. So that's a perfect scenario for your life. But it's also in this business of blitzing, wrapping, and repeating. When you can do that in multiple ways, your business grows in multiple ways. And that's where we get that leverage of time and multiplication. Like, don't get stuck in one way, bumping up against the same wall if it's not giving you fruit.
Right.
You need to just expand and get past. And it's going to happen outside of your comfort zone too. I think the number one thing for this group, for you guys to know, whether you're listening to the recording or you're on live, is that your next step is not going to happen, number one, with the people that are here with you. It's going to happen with somebody new. And number two, it's going to happen outside of your comfort zone. So if you think you're going to have these people here and they're going to get you to Ruby and you just have to wait for them to catch the vision, you're going to be sitting there waiting a long time. You need to get up and start running and be the rock star until your rock star shows up. And when he or she comes, you'll know it.
And you'll keep running with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you'll keep running with them. So I love that. Okay, so a few minutes, guys. Anybody have any questions? Because I said half an hour.
Yeah, I'd love to get a question from each one of them or a comment. You guys get to come on live. So Melissa, you go first. I'm great at calling people out.
Yeah. I don't think I have any questions, but I'm definitely going to check out the Instagram, the videos, because I'm new to Instagram, so I don't really know how to build my business. I'm using hashtags right now, and I'll get some random likes, but I'm not really getting a response. So those will be really helpful. I really appreciate that. And it is so important too, just to be well-rounded. I really liked that tip, to just expand your business that way and, step out of your comfort zone. So really good tips. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cool. Well, let me just show you for example here. I had a guy this guy happens to be from Spain, and I started liking his stuff just a couple of days ago. And he actually just started Instagram too. He's only got like 500 likes. I don't go for people usually that have 22,000 followers and stuff like that. I'll look for somewhere in that 500 to 5,000 range. So this guy was just starting out, and I said, I'll be honest, and I sent this to him in a private message, or a DM, I guess you'd call it, after I had been messaging or posting on his, or posting likes and comments on his stuff. I said, I'll be honest, and I hope you're not offended, but I have my hands on an opportunity that is too awesome to keep to myself. I think you'd be a really great fit for my growing international team who are getting crazy business results from their cell phone and social media tied together with health, wellness, and fitness. let me know if you'd be on board for something like this. And I got an immediate message.
Oh,
He says, I would love to hear about it.
good.
So, and then it went, I mean, I'm on and on and on. And then to the point where he finally asked about the steps. He's like, what do you need from me then? So
So I would say your credit card, your name, your address, your email.
Yes.
right. What I'm getting at with especially with what I've learned with Instagram especially is that be honest with them and just say, I know that I just started following you because I just found your profile just jumped out at me. So I hope you're not offended if I, fast forward this a little bit and share this awesome business opportunity with you. I know it's changed my life or whatever. The idea,
So be confident and go for it.
The idea is be confident, but also be open with them so they don't look at you as, well, he's just some spamming,
Right.
business guy that's just after me. Just be honest.
Be genuine.
Be genuine.
How are you finding them? Are you taking it off of the suggested followers from Instagram, or how? I'm not sure how to search for people like with common.
I mean, basically what I do is I actually search hashtags, which is going to sort of get me into different fields. Like the other night, I wanted to search health and wellness in Spain and France.
Okay.
Because I want a little bit of that interaction in there. And I'm finding that I've got people that are speaking English over there. So, if they're not speaking English, that could be a bit of a time sucker, I guess you'd say. I've done the whole translation thing.
There's an app for translating, yeah.
Yeah, there's an app, and I've worked through that. If you can find somebody that speaks English, boy, that's going to be a crown jewel if you get them on as a distributor, and they can start speaking to all the other people from that place. But
yeah, so what we've heard is just, what are some things that interest you? You're like, if it's a health and wellness, then search that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's homeschooling mom, like for us, we're homeschooling. So we're in some groups on Facebook and on, Instagram be a great thing to search that. Or if you're into fashion, or if you're into long, beautiful hair, you know what I mean? Just find things that you love and connect with them, because then that's organic already, because you'd be like, I see that you love this. I love that too. You know what I mean?
Searching by, and then that brings that up. Okay. Yeah. That's really good tip. Yeah.
And then if you do find a person who has a lot of followers and they seem to be a really genuine person, a lot of times what I'll do then is I'll go to their followers. Okay. I'll click on their followers, and then that's where you find really it's sort of like grassroots people. Mm-hmm. All right. People that maybe are searching for fitness tips, mm-hmm. or they're searching for online work from home opportunities, mm-hmm. of that nature.
Oh, that's
yeah. So we'll put those videos, those two really good, great videos, and we know she's doing it right because Cami Dempsey interviewed her. So we know, and let her share what she's doing. So we know that she's doing it properly, and so we wouldn't want to, throw anything out there for you guys to watch that wouldn't be something that even Cami Dempsey is saying, you know what, this is really good.
Well, here's one more tip. As you dive into the social media world, whether it's Instagram or whatever, I'm telling you, you can flip Instagram on and you can sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll, and you can waste hours of time. Go into there with a mentality. Say to yourself, I'm going here, have your list next to you. I'm going to start off. I'm just starting off.
20 people to follow.
I'm going to find 5 people. I want to find 5 people. Because I'm telling you, if you get conversations going, I've had conversations already with 5 people during the day, and I'm like, I feel exhausted because the conversation is just going on and on. There's no way that I could have followed up with 20.
Right.
But you can also be on social media and totally waste time just like liking and commenting on everybody's random stuff.
So that's why I love, she says, seek out the 20 and just focus on them.
One more point. When you find those 20, if you follow somebody that you want to follow, then immediately go up to the 3 dots on the right-hand corner, and it's like 7 different options. The bottom one is turn on post notifications.
Oh.
Turn on post notifications so that as soon as that person posts a post, it's going to come up on your phone that it's on there. You're going to immediately go and like it, make a thoughtful comment.
Like you're their best friend. Claire says you talk to them like they are your best friend for a full 7 days. Like totally engage and really, you'd be talking to just totally into what they're doing. And by that 7th day, that is like your follow-up Friday, your 7th day to say, man, it has been amazing to watch you all week. I have just been, you don't have to say all week, but been following you.
Yeah.
And, I just love your kids or whatever that is, like a best friend. And then go for, like she does, she goes for finally that, I think you'd be amazing on my team.
The right hook.
Something like that. So she has a lot of fruit from that. I think that's really cool. We have 3 minutes and 33 seconds left. So Miss Jennifer, do you want to say anything?
I guess I just kind of started this morning doing what Claire had said last night instead of the whole follow and unfollow, because I feel like, yeah, you may get a gazillion followers back, but if you're not connecting with them, it's kind of pointless. I mean, yes, you might get something out of it, but the chances are a lot slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I learned a lot from the Zoom last night, had a huge impact on how I've been doing it and teaching my girls to do it too.
And one thing with that too, with just starting, don't get frustrated. I've literally only been doing this for probably like 4 days where I've really been heavy at it. Jim Rohn says you can't plant today and harvest tomorrow.
Yeah.
He says, and the Bible says too, we plant today and 4 months comes the harvest. So give yourself time. Take your seed to the field, not your need. And you will get paid for getting better at what you're doing, for bringing value, I guess, to the social media industry, and it will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll end with that.
That's really good. Thank you.
Last thoughts, comments, questions.
Thank you. This is exactly what I needed to hear today.
Thank you guys so much for your leadership. I love that, the leaders all have a different voice and a different something to bring. So it's great to come together. For those that were working, couldn't get on today, they'll get the recording. Make sure that you guys just every day, make sure that you're doing something that makes you uncomfortable. And then you're going in the right direction.
I love it. And I did have a devotion. I have 1 minute and 47 seconds. You think I can get it done?
Yes.
Real quick.
All right, here we go. It says, God will be with you through the whole process. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, the name of the Lord is to be praised. Psalm 113:3. I can hear the excitement in her voice. I met someone, she gushes, and I think he might be the one. A few weeks later, I asked her, how's it going? Great, she replies. We love being together. Then one day I get a tearful call. We broke up. She sighs into the phone. It's over. The sun rose, shone, and set on that relationship. What my friend did in each of those phases makes her remarkable. She found a way to see God in each one. I've watched many of other single friends do the same. I marvel at their ability to do so. I tend to be a rising of the sun praise giver. When something is brand new, I'm excited. I can clearly see God's hand, and I'm willing to follow wherever he's going. Then high noon comes, and I'm hot, tired, and ready to be done. The praise I offered when the day began can turn into discontent pretty quickly. And when the sun goes down on a dream in my life, I can get downright whiny. God and I are working through this together. He's gently saying to my heart, Holly, I'm equally present in all phases of the process. I'm here when you begin. I'm there in the difficult or glorious middle. I'm there when it comes to an end. God wants me to praise him through the whole process because it affirms that though my circumstances may change, who he is stays the same. We desperately need to know this, especially when the relationship is unraveling, the dream is fading, or the world around us is growing darker. Sometimes we can resent that God wants us to praise him all the time, or maybe that's just me. But when he does so, he's actually doing something deeply loving for our hearts. Ooh, are we ready? We're human. We get scared. We don't like uncertainty. But by asking us to praise him in our most difficult moments, God